I remember one afternoon after school, Zach calls me and says, "Hey, my name is Zach Davis. I'm going to be a rock star."
I think it's about time we invite in some of the members of Z Frequency. And so, you know what? Thanks for joining us. Let's keep the party going.
All right. Actually, I got Greg in the lobby right now. Do you want to bring him up?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, coming directly from Layton, Utah, the man with the axe in his hand and the orange amps behind him. This is Greg Griffith. Greg, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Matt?
Good, man. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Happy holidays, brother.
Yeah, it's that time of year, man. It just comes up faster and faster, I swear, every year.
Well, so as fans of ZHZ Podcast and Z Frequency, Greg has been around since the very, very beginning of when Matt and Zach started playing music together.
Yeah,
That's right.
Back and is one of the cats, and that's one of the cool things about Z Frequency is that most of us go way, way, way back, like
the late 1900s.
Back in the late 1900s.
Yeah,
Not just the late 1900s, but like the early the
analog days.
the early 1990s. For reference, Zach and I met in 1991.
That's about the time I met.
You already knew Zach.
Greg
You guys already knew each other at that point.
I mean, we were schoolmates, but that was about the year that 1991. I think was sophomore year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the end of our
that's
sophomore
when I first
year.
met you. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me a call. Either I played in an assembly at school. I played the drums. That's when I was more of a drummer.
Oh, yeah. And your brother was into music as well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I remember one afternoon after school, Zach calls me and says, "Hey, my name is Zach Davis. I'm going to be a rock star." That was
Did I
like
actually say
one
that?
of the first things I remember.
So sure of myself.
And so, yeah, I started playing drums a little bit with Deep Blue, but I was kind of transitioning into playing the guitar at that point. So I was kind of,
yeah.
Then I met a couple of, Mike Lomax a few months later, and then my good buddy Ryan Stevens.
Yep.
We were doing our thing, and so I helped out wherever I could. And I've been in and out with you guys for a while, but this one's been a lot of fun.
In bands
I'm
together,
excited.
playing in competing bands again. I mean, we played against each other in the Battle of the Bands at Layton
that's
High.
right. And you beat
That's
us.
right. Mr. Skinny Circus. You know what the funniest thing about that night was? You remember our friend John Bankhead?
Yeah.
He's good dude. Total good dude.
Yeah, great guy.
Like coming into that night, he was all about your band, right? Mr. Skinny Circus is they're just gonna take it. And I kind of thought the same, because I remember he walked up to me, put his arm around he's kind of a big guy, so and I'm not really a big guy, so it's like when he puts your arm around, it's like, but he's like, "Hey, just gonna let you know, man, I like you, bro, but I think Skinny Circus is gonna win this one." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right." And then when we won, I had the chance to do exactly the opposite. And I put my arm around him and said, "Hey, I hate to tell you, bro, but we won," and he's like, "You're a jerk."
No, that's fantastic. I mean, we were just three guys making what we thought was music. I mean, it was just fun.
That was awesome. It was fun.
But I remember listening to you guys going, "Man, they're tight. They sound good." And then we did the infamous Warehouse show.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
A train wreck of the warehouse.
That was, I'll tell you what, what's funny is that was at, at Seal Coat Supply.
Yeah.
Party Palooza.
No business having music there at all.
I know.
But we were there.
But that was a situation where, our egos were so inflated because we won the Battle of the Bands, and
that's right. We thought
we hardly
were all
rehearsed at all, and we realized as we got up on stage we hadn't really rehearsed endings to any of these songs, and so they all just kind of tailed off into chaos, and everybody looking around, is the song over? Okay, I guess we're done.
We just kept playing until we kind of started looking at each other like, "No,
okay, we ended it."
Yeah. And it shows because we actually recorded it on audio, and thank God I don't have it anymore. But
I think Mike Lomax still has a copy of when we did it, and it's awful.
Right, I know.
Maybe at the time we thought it was awesome, but
right.
At the time, and looking back on, okay, we were not as good as we thought we were. But that's kind of the case of the teenage band.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was so fun.
But then, go ahead.
I was just saying, I drive past that warehouse frequently. I live down in West Layton, so I come down Hilford Road. I'm like, that's the place. That's the place.
Dellers
That's where-
still own it. You know,
Yeah,
now
where
now
it
it's his
happened.
son running it. Yeah, Cody
Huh?
Deller runs the business now.
Cody, whose older brother Jesse was in Deep Blue with us,
Mhm.
That's correct. Yeah. Jesse was our one of the keyboardists.
and the
Yeah,
eye
anyway.
candy.
Yeah, he was the
He
pretty
was.
boy.
He was the pretty
Jesse,
boy.
Jesse was the
He's
teen
the one with the
model that-
nice
Man, he
model
was the
dressed
guy
well, he
210
looked good.
looking.
Yeah.
He was like the teen board for the Bon Marché of the beautiful people.
You know, him and his wife now like flip houses. Like they
Really?
yeah, he got a YouTube channel where they bought some like mansion in Salt
in
Lake.
the avenues, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it was pretty dilapidated. But they're actually filming the process. I'm sure that's already done now, but like they filmed the whole process and they're kind of starting a YouTube channel on that.
Oh,
But
good
yeah,
for
that's
them.
kind of what they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then off and on, I think you went and served a mission, and then when you came back, I started doing. That's when kind of I started with the Hooray Hoo thing.
It was
And you-
catfish.
It was Catfish.
No, it was Hooray Hoo before that.
Oh,
It was Hooray Hoo before
Yeah,
Catfish.
you
Because I
recorded-
came into it when it was catfish. I played with you guys for a few shows.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it was at the
okay.
very
I-
tail end of.
I'm talking about like the first couple of songs,
Mm-hmm.
we had the
Ethiopian
While I was
Square
still out.
Dancing and Michael's
yeah.
House, and maybe it was before you left on your mission then.
I remember
But-
doing a couple things. Yeah, before I
Yeah,
left.
and it was just like a 4-track recording. You came over and we did it in the garage or
Mhm.
whatever, you know. But that recording landed me my first time gig performing live, really. And that was as far as Hooray Hoo, and by myself, by the way. But that was with a Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, no way.
I ended up opening for them. Yeah, and it was just those two songs. It was like karaoke. It was like push play on the tape and then start singing, and it turned out all right. But yeah,
That's
so
fun.
you've been in and out of my musical career like pretty much the whole time.
Yeah,
And
for a
now
while.
now you're back, you know, and killing it, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm like, we're at the point now where I think we're just ready to get a gig and go, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
You know
let's
what
give
I
it a
mean?
try. It's gonna be.
Well, and I
good.
think that's really kind of where things are. You know, now that we've come out of a football season and I have availability to attend rehearsals now again, I'm working on getting my part of it down. But I think that really that next step for Z Frequency has got to be, I think that in fact I think John made the point to one of our last rehearsals was, we need a show booked on the horizon to really kick our own butts into gear to get the rest of the way there.
He's right. There's something about having a deadline that motivates you, you know, like, because if there's no resolve in sight, then it's like it almost like it's I think it's a psychological thing. But
Oh, yeah.
I totally agree with him. But it's not as easy. It's not as easy starting out, and the reason why is I don't want a headline, first of all, so I don't really want to be the one to book the gig. And I've done that before where we've booked a gig and then found a headliner, and I might have to do that. But the idea is that we find bands that are friends with us, or maybe bands that have been on the podcast previously. There's like, yeah, you know, and we have a handful that said they would. Nobody's playing right now though. So as soon as they do,
You know, I think the
we'll
ideal
get the
situation for us would probably be to get like Vibe Merchant at the Funk and Dive, open for Vibe Merchant at Funk and Dive or something like that.
or to
Somewhere.
make ways at the Ice House.
Yeah, or the make. But I think for us, I think that really our first time out, I think that we're probably going to get our best attendance if we do something more up north, our first time out.
Sure.
The debut gig of Z Frequency Live, I almost feel like it should be up in that closer
probably
to
will be.
Ogden area
Yeah.
than because I know that that Hooray Hoo, when we had our brief revival, those shows and it's too bad that the Lighthouse isn't around anymore, because that was such a great venue. We could pack that place to the
Well,
gills.
I mean, we could still play Brewskis. We can play Funk and Dive. We can play Kamikazes, and I wouldn't want to play them all night, you know. But there are places, and then there's other like even all age venues that we can tap into. Although, yes, the realization I have now, as you know, going through this again, and like the second time going through, the first time we were in our 20s, and most of our fan base was underage, you know. So
Right.
our biggest shows, our funnest shows, our biggest shows were all age shows. Like
That's
that was going to the
that was
bar.
our sweet spot.
Yeah, I mean, going to the bar was like, it was almost like that was like your part-time job. You know, you clock it, you know, and then you get a little bit of money, and then you throw it in the pot, and so you can go, you know, to the studio later on or whatever. That's what it felt like more to me. And that shifted because now most of our fan base that were underage, well, all of them,
right? Anybody who are all of the fan base from those days are either dead or they're in their 40s.
Right. So now an all-age gig is really for our family, right? Our kids, our grandparents that don't want to do the bar scene. And I'm totally cool with that too. It just probably won't happen as often. And then, but there are places to play. I'm always scouting out, you know, that empty warehouse or whatever, you know, that sort of opportunity. And there are some that are popping up. Did you hear that Ted Shoup passed away?
Yes.
Yeah, I just recently found that out, and he was a huge part of the Ogden scene, especially all ages back in late 90s and the early 2000s. And yeah, that was my heart broke.
I'll tell you what,
but
Hooray Who of the late 90s, early aughts would not have had the exposure. And so many, and it's not just Hooray Who, every local band in that area, in the area and outside of that area, had the Jackson Street Junction was one of the greatest all-age venues ever to grace this earth. It was fantastic because it wasn't just somebody out to take advantage of young kids and bands. It was somebody out to give these bands a place to play, a place to learn.
And kids,
he helped them learn
to get
about
off the street, you know.
Right. It was just so fantastic. And, you know, he started out on the main floor, and then he had the upstairs concert area built. And I remember there were Hooray Who shows up in that upstairs where we were knocking ceiling plaster off of the downstairs because it was just so insane and so much fun. So the local, you know, Utah local music scene is a darker place without Ted in it. And he was just, and I mean, it was to the point where Ted came out to one of our shows.
It was the last time we played with Hooray Who.
Yeah, the last Hooray Who show, it was at Ice House, and Ted Shoup came out to watch us play. And he was just so excited to see Hooray Who again.
Yeah, I'm actually glad he did that. I'm glad I got to see him one last time, you know. But anyway, there's going to be opportunity. I think, honestly, for Z Frequency, the live shows are going to come, you know. Like, it's going to happen, and then it might even get to a point where it'll be more we have to turn stuff down because of just life, you know. Like I think the opportunities are going to be there, and probably more than we can even accept as we start rolling out. Like I plan 2026 is going to be a big year for the band because I'm not only just pushing the band live stuff, but I'm also going to be pushing music. We're going to, you know, it's a presence now, you know. Like not last year, the year before that was all Z Frequency stuff. I was just pumping out music every month, and then the podcast kind of started up, and so then last year was more about the podcast than it was the band, even though I did, you know, a little bit of both. And now it's like I was telling earlier, Matt, it's like a teeter-totter, you know. My energy and time is like, okay, now it's more band, now it's more podcast. So, and we're already realizing that Z Frequency has some slow time, you know. We started picking up rehearsals in August, and, you know, this fall has been kind of a slow lull for us, but just because of, you know, life engagements with some of the other members. And that's totally
you know,
fine.
I mean, and that's the thing. Well, and you know, I keep hoping that maybe next fall Utah's home football schedule will be on the weekends where we don't have rehearsal. So there'll be football one weekend, rehearsal. That is just this year it happened to line up perfectly. And, you know, Utah home games, I'm on the lot with the Shasta crew. And then Tristan, our trombone player, is a high school band teacher and is involved in marching band. And so fall weekends are really tough for him. But we'll get through it. And I think, though, that also the sound of Z Frequency as a band is going to evolve a lot in the coming year, just simply because now we have a defined lineup. You know, up until previously, Z Frequency was kind of a floating cadre of different musicians coming in and out on the tunes. And
I'm a real band now.
Yeah.
Did you see my text post this morning or earlier today? Yeah,
that was funny, man.
And that's what I feel like, you know, like I feel, and Matt's right, because Z Frequency started as a studio project, and Greg was a part of it. He was actually he was introduced with
Thrill Seeker.
Yeah,
Thrill Seeker.
and I nailed it, just freaking nailed it. But
I mean, that was a fun one to come in on.
And you know
What's
what?
that?
Seriously, though, Greg, there was Zach and I both, as we were, when Zach initially sent me the bones of the song, and it's like, that is so Boingo.
yeah, he asked me,
He
he's
and I-
like, are
he
you
and I
gonna
both agreed.
try a riff? Are you gonna riff hard, or are you just going to like change this, or are you just
Right? Are
gonna
you
be
gonna,
all
as you
all
flesh it out,
Boingo?
are you going to try to push away from sounding like Boingo, or are you going to lean into it and just make it sound almost like a Boingo tribute song?
I mean, that's how it felt when I got the demo for it.
Right,
And
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my inspiration. I did add a little more heavy feel to it.
Yep.
'cause That's just
It's
kinda
like
who
a
I am,
metal
but
version of Boingo, and I freaking love every second of it.
It
Yeah.
turned out
yeah.
so. I mean, that was such a fun one to work on. But I felt so bad when you originally asked me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in Florida right now, but I'd love to do it when I get home. And then I completely forgot it. Like months
yeah.
later, you're like, hey, do you
You're
still
like, oh my
want it? I'm
gosh,
like, oh. And so
Yeah,
I did
I do.
that, and then I went back and started listening to more of your older stuff that you'd already put out. I'm like, oh, this is so different than what you guys have
Well,
done.
that was,
I
I
hope this
know.
works.
but I
Yeah,
think
no,
that
no,
was
no,
really
I
cool
wasn't.
about it, though.
That was seeing that. To be honest with you, that's the struggle that Z Frequency has. Is that it's, these were like baked songs from years ago, and so I was genre hopping, And when somebody asked me, it's like, well, what do you guys sound like? I'm like, I got like genre ADHD, dude. It changes from the song to song. Although we are kind of fitting into like this new like alternative rock reggae vibe thing going that I personally like, but it's not set in stone, and it never is. Like, in fact, I think one of the covers we plan on working on is a Lenny Kravitz, which is like straight out funk song, and it's awesome, So I'm not ever going to pigeonhole our band into any one genre or the other. I'm just kind of whatever floats and whatever feels right at the time, So like the genre could change. Oh, I think John is here.
Do we have another friend to add?
We do. Should we bring him on?
Let's do
Let's
it.
bring him
All right.
on.
All right, here comes John.
There he is.
Hey, Johnny boy.
Hey, John. All righty. Now, this is more than 50% of the Z Frequency crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
There's
4/7.
7 of us, so this is 4 out of the 7.
4/7.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
Z
guess who? We
Frequency.
got another guy coming in. You ready for this?
Who's this? It's Mike
Hey, there he is. Nice. We were just
How are you,
talking.
Mike?
Yeah. How you doing,
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
man? Yeah. I'm glad you made it, because you kind of mentioned like, I don't know, I might not, I might make it, I might not. But how are you doing, John?
I'm
I
doing
like
good.
it. This is is this your new studio here? I can see.
Yeah, it's not set up yet, but
It
it's
still looks
getting
pretty
there.
clean. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I know that, like, well, see, the thing that I've got to change my setup, because my camera, the way it's sitting on the mount, faces this way, and this way right here is my shelf of all of my doodads and gadgets and stuff, and I don't like the way that looks in the background. But if you turn, like, if we go over here, that's where all my guitars and keyboards and all the cool stuff is. But it's just it's attached to an arm that I have to, like, anyway. It's behind the scenes frustration is what that is. So
On the home studio, you make whatever works.
it's right. We were just talking, Greg was just kind of first one to join us, and we were just kind of going over how we've met, really. John is one. He's actually, just to introduce the guys, because somebody might not know, I'm the singer. Matt here is the trumpet and backing vocals. And then Mike Lomax, who just joined us, he's our amazing drummer. And he's in like 30 bands. I don't know. I'm like,
Mike has an entire Spotify playlist of songs Mike plays the drums on.
That's
Correct.
true.
And he has an entire playlist of songs that are not Christmas songs that have
Jingle
sleigh
bells
bells in them.
Sleigh bells.
Yes.
That's right.
I love it. Yeah. And then Greg, he's our guitarist here. And then we have John McCallum, who is also an excellent guitarist, but for our band, he plays bass. And now he's going to start playing guitar too. So I'm excited about that. So welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the New Year's Eve ZHZ podcast show.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New-
Year.
We were just, Matt and I were just talking about some of the highs and of highlights of the podcast, and you guys just joined right at about time we're going to start talking about the band. We're the only guys we're missing now is Tristan, our trombone player, and Mike Alesko, who is Like I don't think he ever really gets on screen much. Like he's talk about introvert, and there's quite a few introverts in this band.
I'm usually behind the camera. That's where I feel most comfortable. But
Correct.
I think this time I'll come out and do it.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you for it, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So,
But we've had we've had Mike on the show before
That's right, with Old Man Johnson.
with Utah, one of Utah's most incredible, dynamic
hilarious. Let's add
rock
hilarious
groups. Old Man Johnson.
And then we've had John on the show earlier this year too. I think, was it this year or last
Right.
year? I think it was earlier this year in the spring.
Something
He has
like
his
that.
own YouTube channel, John McCallum Music, I believe it's called, and he talks about guitars and just what you can expect wanting to get into guitars and learning that craft and that instrument, and it'll take you a lifetime to learn it. And he's spent a lifetime doing just that, and now he's sharing that with the world. And I love his channel. So
Thank you.
Well, I think one of the cool things I think of this this group of musicians we've got together now for Z Frequency is that we're all kind of here by choice. Everybody was given the choice, would you like to be a part of this band in more of a full-time lineup? And everybody said yes. But that everybody, well, we
He's
didn't
like,
give you a choice,
I was-
John.
I got-
Mike raising it or Sean Murray?
Yeah.
I didn't. I came.
Somebody came to my house in the middle of the night, put a bag over my head, and I dragged me off. I don't know.
That
I
was
guess
me.
you guys
That
had
was
a
me.
choice. Just
yeah,
kidding.
it was.
I had the choice whether or not to put the bag over people's heads, and I
Yeah.
chose to do it.
Yeah,
There you
no.
go.
John was
But,
forced into it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no. it's funny because we're a bunch of guys who have crossed paths and paralleled and together and separately over the course of several decades, but everybody involved in the band has been on a track, or in Mike's case, all the tracks that Z Frequency has released to date, and now we're rehearsing to be able to play it live, and it's been a really kind of a fun evolution and work in progress.
Well, and we're using new gear. We're using a digital mixer. We're using IEM or in-ear monitor system. So there's no wedges. There's no loudspeakers in your ears.
This is the first time I've gone completely modeled with my guitar. I mean, I'm not using any of these. I love these,
Right.
but at 50
And they're
years old,
big.
they're harder to move
Right.
than a digital pedal board.
So there's some challenges there. I think, we were just talking about before you guys jumped in, we were talking about live shows and, the what we can expect really. But I think starting out, I want to do like a couple of live shows, like maybe, and not even a full gig. We just do like 4 songs, just because I want to test it out, and not our ability to play the song. I don't really, care about that so much, but like, how does it sound on the other side? That's what I want to know. Like, because with an in-ear monitoring system and using backing tracks, there's a click track, there's a cue track, there's all these other things that we're hearing in our ears that the crowd's not going to hear, and I'm curious how it sounds, without what we hear. And we need those things to orchestrate when to start and stop and to keep rhythm. But I'm curious to see how that goes. We'll probably do a couple of those, and then we're going to really push a live scene. And I've had a friend tell me that our first gig's probably going to be a pretty big one. Like, I think he said, yeah, a lot of people probably show up to see the first one. It's up to us whether they come back.
So they come back to the second one.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
I
agree,
think
yeah.
it depends on the caveat too is, are you the opening act? Because if it's at a bar and you're not the opening act, it's way too late, man.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, the one thing I've noticed when we were with Hooray Who we didn't do a whole lot of bar gigs, but we did like 3 or 4, and every single time there was always that one guy like, so when do you guys start? I'm like 11. Like, oh man,
That's way past my bedtime.
yeah, like I
I
can't
know,
do
man.
that, dude. Like, if you said like 9, maybe, and so we'll make it right. It'll all work out. And that's what I was just saying. Let's just keep going. And things will fall into place. And I think, like I was telling these guys earlier, that we'll probably have a lot of opportunity and some that we can't even accept just because we're, life's so busy, or, trying to logistically handle 7 guys at once. So I'm excited though. And we have a new song coming out. It's 1 month from this day of the recording. So January 16th, we are releasing our first single as this band. So all the members that we currently have now are the ones involved in this song, and I'm excited for it. It gives me something to chew on. Yeah. Anybody want to pipe in? No? Cool. All right. So
no, it's a fantastic song. It's a great song.
I like reggae music.
I like reggae. So
I like when John slapped the bass.
I wanted to show a couple of things. Everyone has their Spotify. Those of you who don't have Spotify, maybe not, but Spotify does this thing at the end of the year called Wrapped, and they did one for our band, and I made a little video of it, and I'm going to show it to all you guys right now. Let's see if I can get this to work. Make sure it works. I got to turn it down just a little bit. I might play it twice because it's really fast, but I'll loop it twice. But anyway, ready? Here we go. Z Frequency Spotify Wrapped for 2025. 408 hours of listening. See, these numbers look great.
Wow.
That blew me away. It really did. Oh, it's the top album, guys. The Regen album. It's our only album.
Brasil!
Thanks, Mom. That doesn't surprise me that the early riser is Thrill Seeker.
It's kind of audio caffeine, man.
You know, I see those numbers and it looks great, but I'm sure about a quarter to half of them are me learning the songs.
Well, yeah. Well, and I, you know, and just, I mean, I use Spotify to rehearse, you know, and because I have, I live in a condominium. And so, you know, there are a few times during the day where it's okay for me to get the trumpet out and just play. But most of the time I try to be respectful of my neighbors. And I have this little setup here. So, and this is just so cool. So it looks like a little cone mute. It just goes in the end of the trumpet bell, and it hooks into this little control box that has an auxiliary in and headphones out. So I put in headphones. I can plug in my phone through here, dial up Spotify or, you know, whatever, and play the music and hear the music and hear my trumpet in my earbuds. And it really stifles the sound of the trumpet outside of
it
that.
Adds a little reverb to the trumpet.
There's a couple of different reverb options so
Cool.
that it doesn't just sound dry, but it's been a great little thing. But yeah, I'll usually, when I rehearse, I'll usually just dial up Spotify and juice the numbers and rehearse at the same time.
Yeah, I remember being at a practice a couple weeks ago, and I think Zach was saying, I think our biggest song this week was Old Dogs. And I'm like, yeah, I went through that one about 20 times.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Like, those are so, I mean, because those are like older ones, and I think that was my third release, you know? So it's always, whenever it pops out like that. But like, Good as It Gets is one, I was surprised that it did so well this year because it didn't do well last year, you know? And then all of a sudden this year was like, it got picked up. I think Brazil, actually. That's why Brazil, like, it was just whatever reason. And that happens sometimes, you know, and it's cool. You never know when things will pick up or drop off, or things you think are going to be great hits and they flop, you know, but anyway, I forgot to put this in the podcast once, so I'm just going to play it for everyone.
Well, was it before you do that, was it one of the Spotify breakdowns that said of all of our listeners on Spotify, their number one artist is Taylor Swift?
Yes. But I don't think that was not Z Frequency. That was our podcast.
That was the podcast itself. So of the podcast of ZHZ Podcast fans, their number one artist is Taylor Swift. So Taylor, show us a little love. Come on.
Again, thank you, Mom. I appreciate it.
I took my daughter to see the Eras Tour movie. I bought her a whole bunch of merch.
Oh, so it was you. It was your daughter.
Yeah. Wait, it's Quinn. It's definitely Quinn.
All right. So I just wanted to show this. So we record on Riverside, and Riverside did their own little version of the Wrapped, and then it's just they're short little clips, but this is the most.
Hey, anybody, before you play this, anybody have a guess what the most uttered word on the ZHZ podcast is?
Okay, that was
far off.
this was I'll play that one first.
Okay.
This was our resolve, right? So this video, this little clip said, "This is what you guys need to work on for 2026." Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So and then and this is the number one word said.
It could be worse. It could be
Right, for sure.
6, 7. No,
Hirschberger.
So this was the number one used word for the whole year for this podcast. You ready? Once you hear it, you just. But the way they created this is it's pretty funny. Here we go. Band.
So good.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So anyway, I had to share that because I was like, man, I loaded that up on the board, the media board here, and I forgot to put it in there.
Well, and I think they got the one clip of Jordan from the Old Man Johnson interview where he wasn't either frozen or locked out or missing from the frame.
I know.
Yeah. We had some troubles with that one.
It wouldn't be the ZHZ podcast without some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, and you know,
but I don't think of all of the episodes we recorded, I do not think that I laughed as hard as I did when we had you guys on the show, when we had OMG on the show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's
Stretch
always
guys are pretty funny too. They got a big sense.
They are, but I'll tell you what, from the graphic the graphic design ribbing of Sam Potter to the tip jar
to Danny's giant
to the Wimbecker
5-gallon tin bucket of says tips accepted or whatever. Yeah.
So clever. Just
anyway,
so much clever stuff.
So I had a couple.
I don't take any credit for that, by the way.
You don't have to.
But you are party to it.
Right.
Yes.
You're just
At no point did you say,
association.
Danny, maybe you shouldn't do that. And that is in and of itself admirable.
There you go.
Right, there you go. I had a couple of questions we could ask. We don't have to ask them if you want, or we can. As a band, it says, as a band, what future excites you the most, whether it's the 2025 live stream shows or 2026 live stream shows, new music, or the direction the sound is evolving? Is that a question any of you really want to tackle?
Was that a question?
It was, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, what do you look forward to the most in the future was the question.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Mike, why don't you start us off?
We'll start with Mike. Go with Mike.
I love recording, so new music is what I'm most excited for. I love the
got a new machine
creativity
too.
that goes into writing a new song. I love learning new equipment and buying new drums and new cymbals to use on recordings and new microphones, and I have a new computer, and so I'm super excited for more recording and just doing better at mixing and getting creative with techniques and stuff.
Yep.
So that's my go-to.
I love that I'm now filled with a bunch of techie nerds too.
When we saw Oingo Boingo and you guys were there, it's like we sat and talked about recording the whole time.
We did. Yeah, all night. I loved it because I don't know who
great.
was it you, Greg, or you, Mike, that rented the table?
I had the table, and
I
you
was
guys
like,
just sat there and talked.
And we just totally glommed on. We totally,
We totally did. We were like,
Table.
like the roadies or whatever.
Again, we're in our 50s, so we needed a chair to sit down. We can't stand all night.
Yeah, no, and it was right by the bar. Not that it really mattered much, but it was like,
it helped
yeah,
me
it
a
was-
lot.
yeah, yeah, helped you
Or
stand
did
up.
it? I mean, to a certain point, and then it starts going downhill.
Yeah. Anyway, how about you, Greg?
I'm looking forward to playing live. I mean, I love doing that, even though sometimes it is such a pain setting everything up. I mean, I've got a couple of guys in my neighborhood. We've done a couple of neighborhood shows, and I have to set up the entire sound system. And I get done with the end of it like, oh my gosh, I never want to do this again. But I miss just playing live. I miss that feeling of being on stage, being in front of people.
Yep.
That's what does it for
Absolutely.
me. But looking forward to recording stuff. This is all new to me. I didn't really do a lot of recording. I mean, Mike and a good friend of ours, Ryan, we did some things back in the days where we're recording it very primitively. But this way we can do it now, where you can send me a demo, I can give you some tracks and say mix it however you want. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to the live shows.